Hello friends, this is MSc Physics online lecture series for the subject Physics of Nanomaterials, which has code PHOTB 4. In this subject, we are going to study about biological methods. In introduction of biological methods, we will see that a speech delivered in 1959 before the scientists of American Physical Society, Nobel laureate Richard Feynman asked the scientists to derive the inspiration from Mother Nature to make things smaller and see the advantage of making things smaller. Indeed, the biological world, animal kingdom and plants make optimum use of materials and space. When we think of biological world, we normally think of delicate, temperature sensitive, carbogenous or organic materials like leaves, roots, stems, cells, tissues, skin, etc. This we will see in our surrounding nature. In organic material are also produced biological systems like bones, teeth, shells, nanomagnets, inside some bacteria and birds are example of inorganic material synthesized by biological systems. Inorganic materials inside organic matter or organisms are known as biocomposites. A variety of mechanically strong or weak, rigid or flexible, porous or non porous, thick or thin materials, either organic or inorganic, in small or large quantities are thus abundantly produced in contact with live cells. These materials exhibit a rich variety in their functions like providing support to body, allow body movements and in general functions well. Many of the materials synthesized by microorganisms, animals and plants in nature can indeed be synthesized using them. This is considered to be a very attractive possibility so as to have eco-friendly or so-called green synthesis. The understanding of biological system as well as mimicking the nanosynthesis by nature's way. Scientists have been using the method by which inorganic materials are synthesized by using biomaterials like enzymes, DNA, membranes, etc. A variety of metals like semiconductor, insulator, nanoparticles or their assemblies, one dimensional, two dimensional, or even three dimensional, have been made using these biological materials. There are also attempts to make biocompatible, bioactive, or biopassive materials specifically for different medical applications like body implant, drug delivery, cancer therapy. Here we shall discuss only the synthesis part using biological method. So let's discuss about biological methods. The synthesis of nanomaterials using biological ingredients can be roughly divided into following three types. The first one is use of microorganisms like fungi, yeasts or eukaryotes or bacteria, anti Actinomycetes, also known as prokaryotes. Eukaryotes are higher organisms with proper nucleus in their cells, and prokaryotic karyotes are the lower organisms without any separate compartment for their DNA. Second one is use of plant extract or enzymes. Third one is use of templates like DNA, membranes, viruses and diatoms. In today's lecture, we are going to study about the first part, which is prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cells. The difference between them is mentioned over here is that the prokaryotics are lower organism and eukaryotics are higher organism. The main difference is that the prokaryotics are have without any separate compartment for their DNA. Microorganisms are the organisms such as bacteria, fungi, yeast, etc., detectable under a microscope. Some are harmful or responsible for spoiling food or causing diseases. Microorganisms are capable of interacting with metals, coming in contact with them through their cells and form nanoparticles. Here, the prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. In prokaryotic cell, you can see that the structure is like a rectangle shape, and in that, at the outer boundaries, there is a wall called as cell wall. After that, there is a plasma and filled with the cytoplasm. Inside, there is ribosomes and nucleates, and at the surrounding, there is a flagellum. In eukaryotic cells, you can see at the wall there is also called a cell wall. With that, there is a plasma, there is also availability of ribosomes, and at the center you can see that prokaryotic cell, at the center there is a center of for nucleoid. In eukaryotic cell, at the center there is two things. That first one is nucleus and second one is nucleus. There is also other things like mitochondria or centrosomes and also endoplasmic reticulum which are absent in eukaryotic cells. Cell metal interactions are quite complex in general due to the complexity of cells themselves. It is well known that the certain microorganisms are capable of separating metal ions. This is widely used to either recover precious metals or detoxify water. Use of microorganism is deliberately synthesis of metals, semiconductors, or insulated nanoparticles is relatively new area and will be discussed now with some examples. It can oxidize organic matter forming sulfate which in turn acts like an electron acceptor or metabolism. This S2S in presence of metal salt convert metal ions into metal sulfide which deposits extracellularly. The metal ions are then converted into non-toxic form and covered with a certain proteins in order to protect the remainder of the cell from toxic environment. Certain microorganisms are capable of secreting some polymeric materials like polysaccharides. They have some phosphate, hydroxyl, and carboxyl ionic groups which complex with the metal ions and bind extracellularly. Cells are also capable of reacting with metals or ions by processing like oxidation, reduction, methylation, or demethylations. Different processes of metal microorganisms interactions are schematically shown in figure below. In this figure, you can see that the metal microorganism interaction. At the upper part, there is extracellular precipitations. At left side, there is intracellular accumulations known as M and H. M is extracellular binding and completion MCH3, that is methylation and demethylations. And at the right side, there is oxidation and reduction. Oxidation is away from M and reduction is towards the M. Synthesis using some examples of metal microorganisms interaction. First example is Pseudomonas stutzeri gold 259. These bacteria are usually found in silver mines and are capable of accumulating silver inside or outside of their cell walls. Using this fact, these bacterial strains can be challenged with a high concentration of silver salt like AgNO3, which is silver nitrate. Numerous silver nanoparticles of different shapes can be produced having size less than 200 nanometer intracellularly. Although detailed analysis shows that silver nanoparticles are quite abundant per cell, some silver sulfide particles also found to be present. Low concentration of metals ions like gold or silver etc. can be converted to metal nanoparticles by lactobacillus strain present in buttermilk. By exposing the mixture of two different metal salts to bacteria, it is indeed possible to obtain alloys under certain conditions. Some of various fungi also has been made to obtain large quantities of metal nanoparticles. For example, the Fusarium oxysporum challenged with gold or silver salt for approximately 3 days produce gold or silver particles extracellularly. The extremorphic actinomycete and Thermomonospora sp produces gold nanoparticles extracellularly. Semiconductor nanoparticles like cadmium sulfide, zinc sulfide, or lead sulfide etc. can be produced using different microbial routes. There are some sulfate reducing bacteria of the family Desulfobacteriaceae which can form 2 to 5 nanometer zinc sulfide nanoparticles. There are some reports in the literature which discusses such zinc sulfide nanoparticle formation observed in nature. Bacteria Klebsiella pneumonia can be used to synthesize cadmium sulfide nanoparticles. Klebsiella pneumonia is a pathogen when CdNO3 salt is mixed in a solution containing bacteria and solution is shaken for about 1 day at approximately 38 degrees Celsius, then CDS nanoparticles in the size range of 5 to 200 nanometer can be formed. CDS nanoparticles with a narrow size distribution can be synthesized using the yeast like Candida guaiacea and the Schizosaccharomyces pod. A nitrogen-rich medium containing 2% tryptophan, 1% yeast extract and 2% glucose, which has pH 5.6, is used to grow the Schizosaccharomyces pome. When challenged with cadmium sulfate solutions after about 12 to 13 hours of growth, after 36 hours cells rich with cadmium sulfate get formed. Solutions can be centrifuged and frozen at -20 degrees Celsius. The frozen cells can be thawed at 4 degrees Celsius to 2 to 4 hours. The thawed solutions can be centrifuged again so that the whole cell debris precipitates and supernatant contains CDS nanoparticles. The particles are covered by proteins which can be removed by the heating at 80 degrees Celsius for a few minutes. Process of CDS nanoparticle formation can be understood as follows. When the cells are exposed to cadmium salt, a series of reactions takes place. Cadmium ions are toxic to the cells and in order to reduce this effect, they need to be coat them with some protective coating of proteins available to them. To begin, an enzyme phytoselatin synthesis gets released to synthesize phytoselatin with the structure GLU-GCY. GLY with N2 to 6. A lower molecular weight phytoselatin, that cadmium complex, is formed. An ATF binding cassettes, that is ABC type vacuolar membrane protein HMTI, transports CD complex across the membrane. When this inside the vacuole, CD ions receive sulfur ions forming large molecular weight phytosality, that is CDS complex. These are nothing but this CDS nanoparticle, that is cadmium sulfate nanoparticles. Thank you.